Oh. Technology is a great thing. Listen to the radio during the week, it's full of politicians shouting about all kinds of stuff, so I kind of wrote this just about what I was listening to. Pension safety. Sat in the kitchen listening to the radio debate. I hear all kinds of stuff involving things that are great. The programme is on for almost a full hour, when it dawns on me that life in Ireland has become dour. These people speaking in so clear and a refined voice live in a different Ireland, one where there is some choice. They are none other than the politically inclined, shouting the party rules which they have defined, that austerity measures must prevail on the land, and if we all dig deep, then things will turn out grand. Meanwhile, our young, educated, are leaving in droves. Our older generation are afraid to light up their stoves. A tax on water in a country that's so wet, and if you live under any roof, another €100 they'll get. And each time there's an election, the story is yet the same. It's the outgoing parties who are always to blame. And while everyone in power is shouting at each other, alone in an airport there stood many a sad mother, watching her children as they leave on a plane, and praying to God that she will live to see them again. In the Dáil, it's shouting across their great divide, pretending to care while their real plan they hide. They argue about the state of the place again and again. It's always someone else's fault. There is no one to blame. Still, our educated youth are leaving for foreign shores, and they tax the water on each day if the rain pours. And now, because of a single parenthood is fornication, from an elected official preaching hell and damnation. And just for a second I thought, you know, she told the truth. And then I understood the immigration of so many of our youth. They're all leaving this country so they can have sex, before the ruling body decides to put a tax on that next. I turned off the radio as I was sick of the debate. The standard of living in this country has been quite sedate. So, in many kitchens all over this land are many parents who know too well things are not grand, and waiting for their child to mail them or just call. Those pensions are quite safe for those up in the Dáil. And I remember we used to cling on the back of buses and lorries and trucks in Ballinanty when Moyross was just being built, and I had the good fortune to give my brother an elbow in the chest and send him flying off the back of the bus, so I got this right. The fall from grace. When the hospital staff were finished fixing his bones, and he lay on the bed like he was sitting on the throne, that's when it started, all the ahs and oohs. Oh, the poor lad, his leg he could lose. And the sympathy that he got as he lay on that bed, you swear to God he was close to being dead. What happened to you, the doctor asked curiously. And then he started to blame me furiously, saying it was him, he pushed me right under the truck. From clinging on the bus, he gave me bad luck. It was payback, you see, and I never saw the lorry. And here I was, just about to feel sorry. When he up and told our dear old father, who by this time was getting into a strange kind of ladder, that I pushed my poor brother into the middle of the road, and thank God that lorry was empty of its load, or he might not be here lying injured and broken on this bed. My dad, he shouted, please tell me, it was your firstborn son who could be dead. What he didn't tell him was that 2 weeks before, he did it to me, and that's why I was battered and sore. I had 3 broken fingers and was all cut up and scraped, and he just laughed and thought it was great. If I did it first, you can be sure, he would have squealed. But no, I just waited until I was healed. I kept my mouth shut and I bided my time, and when he clung on the back of the bus, it suited me just fine. And just before I pushed him, I whispered in his ear, I warned you about payback, and his face filled with fear. From his fall from the back of that faithful CIE bus, sure it was only a broken leg, and I couldn't see what was the fuss. Between the priests, the drivers, the fathers and the guards, they agreed on a lesson that for me was to be hard. It's jail for you, my son, my old man said with a sorrowful face, and if you don't learn how to behave, there's no other place. So for 3 months they sent me, and hoped I'd return just fine. So the brother was 14, and me a criminal at age 9. Say goodbye to your brother that lies injured in that bed. My last words to him were, watch your back, bro, you're dead. Sometime later, when in trouble and he had to stand up and fight, he begged me for help and I replied, bro, there was a time that I just might.
Thank you very much, Christy O'Donnell, and thank you very much.